Welcome back to another Mesh Pre-Weekly Technicals. Drop us a like and subscribe on the videos, really helps us out. So if we look at the NAS, similar to price action on the S&P, we're seeing a big bullish move on the monthly. Nice clean bullish structure, but we've not had the pullback yet. And as you can see from, there's still 26 days left on the monthly candle. As you see, we had this big bullish move. We could start to see price start to find resistance around 14900 area. As you can see over here, we've established support around this 14650 area. We established support on the monthly, come up, a lot of wicks to the downside, suggesting this is a good area for support. And then we've had this area here where prices, it's been bearish, it's come up, it's retraced to this area, established resistance, and then it's absolutely ripped downwards. It's dropped all the way to them zones. So I'll be paying attention to this zone where we're at, around 14930. That's on the monthly, obviously. Nice bullish structure on the monthly at the minute. So we'll go down into the weekly. Once again, similar price action to the S&P. Had a little bit of consolidation along this area, and then we've broken through this area of consolidation, which the top of that range for consolidation was around 13260. And then once we've broken out of that area, we can see the bullish momentum coming into the market, and it's ripped through all of them previous zones. So obviously last week we've seen this big bullish. We've seen this, as mentioned, once we broke through this area consolidation, we've seen a lot of buying pressure come in. And then the week after that, still, we've got a lot of buying pressure with a little wick to the downside, with a little retest of that area. But now we're seeing it, obviously, we've still got 26 days left on a month, but last week's candle, we can see we're starting to lose momentum. So it's starting to slow down around that area that we mentioned, 14620. So we could start to see prices due a bit of a pullback. As we can see, we've been making decent structure, but we are definitely due a pullback on the weekly to come and grab liquidity. So let's go down into the daily time frame. So we see a little area of consolidation. Yeah. Price grabbed liquidity and then broke out of that range. And now we're starting to see price establish support at this 4-hour supply and demand zone. So what I'll be looking for, so obviously I did put this in the group. Obviously, if you're not in the Telegram group, guys, it's all linked down below. So get yourself over there, or you're missing out. Otherwise, like I say, we do obviously go over our analysis midweek, make any changes and put any of that analysis out in the group. But one thing I was paying attention to was obviously this fib zone from back in March 2020. We saw a similar move where price ripped through, and then we came back and we had this tap of this area, which was the sweet zone, like in the Fibonacci. So we had the top of that area before price took off. So that's what I was paying attention to this week, and we put that up in the group. Unfortunately, as you can see here, that's the reason I was paying attention to it. We had this area down here from our last pre-week technicals, which price came down, tapped it perfectly, and we had a nice clean move to the upside. So that played out perfectly. But as you can see, price came up, established a bit of resistance at this area. So that's what made me, I was paying attention to this fib zone. And as we can see, if we go down into the 4-hour, so that area we were paying attention to for the pullback. So as you can see, price it just didn't come back to tap it. So we almost had I was waiting for price to come back into this area before taking a long. So we did see a little bit of support established here, a little bit of consolidation, and then it broke out. But they say no trade was taken, as it didn't come back into my zone that I was waiting for. But like I say, we can't get them all. But it was very close from that to playing out. But if we go back into the daily now, so we've had that retested that area. We still could see price come back down to fill these gaps, but with the structure it's given us now, I'd like to see price establish support at this area 1443. We'll call it 14440 area. We've seen price come up a big wick to the upside. Obviously, we've established resistance here, and then we've pulled back into that zone that we were talking about, which price previously back in March 22 came back and grabbed liquidity this area. Once again, we weren't that lucky this time. A little couple more pips and we could have been looking at taking trades into that area, but as it didn't reach me area, I didn't take no trades. But as I say, we've seen this area around 14270 established support, and then we've broken through all of this previous structure and this previous area supply and demand at 14440. So if we go down into the 8 hour, let's go into the 4. If we have a look at the 4, I'd like to see, once again, similar with the S&P 500, we're starting to approach the top of this range that I've been looking at. So I'd like to see price come up, tap this area, establish resistance, and then drop down. So potentially we could see price, it could break out of this range, establish support, and then we could take longs from here. But once again, I'm expecting, with obviously the Dixie start to consolidate in that small triangle, it start to squeeze within that descending triangle. I'm expecting a little bit of consolidation on indices as well. So I'm waiting for NASDAQ to tap this area before pulling back into either the 14440 before establishing support, taking longs back up into the 14620. Trade in this range. If price can't establish support around that area, then I'll be waiting for the pullback potentially into, we've got like a 1 hour supply and demand zone around 14350. As we see this price absolutely, it bounced. We got like a nice little bit of a bounce play. Once again, as mentioned, if price would have come down a little bit further into our zone, we could have took a trade off there and got a nice bounce play right the way up until this range. Got to stay disciplined. Unfortunately, the price didn't come into our zone, so no trade was taken. But we can see this big move off this candle. So we could see another retest of this area where we've had this previous consolidation that's been broken. We could have a retest of that consolidation, which also aligns with this 14270 supply and demand zone, before obviously taking trades back up into the 14440 and then potentially up to 14620 area. But once again, I'm expecting a little bit of consolidation on that. My area is obviously break and retest 14620 to take longs. Obviously wait to see if support is established because we are due a pullback. We've got 14440 area. If we pull back and establish support, take a trade back up into this range and potentially onwards. And if we don't establish support there, we could see price come back to 14350 and even potentially back down here. But once again, it's all about building confidences. And the reason I say if price establishes support and if price establishes resistance for those newer guys who would trade, then it's more about we're not waiting for price to come and tap it. We're waiting to see if price establishes support or establishes resistance on the lower time frames before getting our entry candles and taking our position. So once again, build your confidences and quality over quantity, guys. But that's what I'll be waiting for this week on the NASDAQ.